I'm skipping down. The first part of all this is on those models. So if you go down to number 5, trachea. What's the trachea on here? This thing. And you can feel the actual rings of it if you have gloves on. You can feel the rings of the trachea, and you can feel the inside. You can see the rings right there. So if I were to pin, I don't know how to ask this, maybe the structure of this organ, it would be the cartilaginous rings of the trachea, which is number 13. If I were to ask you, what is this? It's the trachea.
So the inside would be the cartilage?
If I were to pin, no, like, you can feel rings on it. If you slide your hand across, you can feel the cartilaginous rings, and you can kind of see them. There's a ring. So if I were to ask you the structure of it, call it the cartilaginous rings of the trachea. If I were to ask you, like, what actually is this, like, what organ is this, it's the trachea. Okay, and then pretty much everything we've come across so far has had some kind of lining or covering over it, right? This one's no different. The lungs have the pleura, and the pleura cover the lungs. You can't really see it. You can sometimes pull parts of it off. But if I were to stick a pin in this, ask you what organ is it? Lungs. Ask you what's the protective covering over it? Pleura. Exactly. So there's 2 questions right there. Pleura is number 12. Sorry, I'm bouncing around. Lungs is number 11. Okay, and then the other 3 we're going to look at are 6, 7, and alveoli that I added. So bronchioles, and alveoli are all the holes inside of the lung. So the really big ones, so what we did was we cut this open somewhere. There's cuts in it, like right here. Okay, so we cut that open. You guys can see, come around in a bit and look. The really big holes are the bronchi. The smaller holes are the bronchioles. All this, microscopic holes, are the alveoli. So bronchi, bronchiole, alveoli. That would be a bronchi. That would be a bronchiole. All this would be bronchioli.
What's the alveoli?
Alveoli are microscopic, so I'm not going to be able to stick a pin. Well, I can stick a pin, and I could ask you what structure of the organ is this. And I'm looking for alveoli. If I stick a probe in the big old ones, call it bronchi, and ask you what structure of the organ. If I put a pin in the small ones, call it bronchioles. So make sure you guys see the size difference of these. And I'll be sure that it's a big one. It's not an in-betweener. And that's everything on the sheet Pluck that you have to know. So that works?
The top one you'll ask on the model.
Yeah, the other ones I'll ask on the model.
Just like the trachea.